the restaurant industry, we're heading for such major reform because what has always notoriously been a really thin bottom line is just getting thinner.
Absolutely.
And, there's some restaurants out there that have never turned over more money but never made less.
And that's the thing. The top line doesn't matter.
You try and explain that to people and they go, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah. It's like franchising. A lot of franchisors only care about that top line because not much of that fucking gets spat out at the bottom.
At the bottom of it, exactly. Hello, TK.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. You got a glass of wine in your hand.
Oh,
a nice way to start. We'd like to thank our sponsor this week, Market Wine Store.
Thanks, Damo.
Thank you, Damo, and the crew for looking after us.
Several comments about the last little sponsorship video, which is good.
That's good. We've got a fun little wine. I haven't tasted this yet. This is I don't know if we're going to get that for you, Corey. I can probably do that. Is that going to work? Maybe. Hopefully. This is the Vinden Headcase wine from the Hunter. So this is Angus Vinden. This is their Chenin Blanc. So there's a single vineyard Chenin Blanc from 2024. So I think 24. Yeah, 24. Yeah. And this is a style of wine. Not having tasted this, I'm into Chenin. I kind of like Chenin. It's one of those things where when you have a great Chenin, and there's plenty of them around in this country and France, its home is in France.
They're always light on wine lists, right?
Yeah,
if you see one or two,
people don't necessarily understand what they are, and I think that the more we see them, the more people will understand how versatile they are as well, because they've got wonderful sort of texture. You can sort of ramp up the texture, which I believe he does with this. Having tasted this wine before, I'm pretty sure that there's a bit of work in it in the winery, which gives it a little bit more texture.
It smells great.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think of it? I'll have a bit of a sniff and a...
Mate, I really like it. I like the one thing I do like about Chenin is it's still got power. It's balance. It's everything that I like about Chardonnay I see in this one too.
Yeah, and I think that's the interesting thing is that there is that texture and that weight, but it doesn't normally have the artifact that Chardonnay does in terms of oak.
No,
certainly. I think that I'm not sure if they actually mentioned if there's any oak in this wine, but if there is, I imagine it's big oak. Because it doesn't come across, it's probably more about, again, just adding another layer of texture into the wine. Yeah. But I know that he plays with it. There's some stirring of the lees, so that creates texture in the wine.
I was going to say that creaminess, that fullness in the mouth, right?
It's almost, you sort of end up getting that really sort of creamy. It's not the buttery thing. No. It's more the feel. It's rather than a flavour. But what I love about Chenin is its versatility in terms of just drinking it.
Yep.
Because it is a style of wine, its acid is always sort of in check. So it's there, but it very rarely leads with acid. So that means it's pretty easy to drink on its own.
I was going to say, it's really approachable.
Yeah.
It's not a monster.
And I think a lot of wines, even a lot of wines that we do drink on a regular basis in this country, things like, Riesling, high acid, Sauvignon Blanc, pretty decent acid, when we start getting to Pinot Grigios, yes, still a heap of acid there. Chardonnay, plenty of acid, but
what would be for the wine novice?
Yeah,
what would Chenin be closest to as far as grape varietals go?
It's interesting. It's always the question that you get asked. Like, what's it like? When it's a variety people aren't comfortable with.
Because I get asked about that a lot with European wine, and I'm not completely across it. I can sort of wing my way through it,
and sometimes it's like from a varietal perspective as well. You can go, oh well. Traditionally, you can sort of go, well, it would normally be here on this. Let's say there's a spectrum of white wine when we're generally going to start at the aromatic white Riesling sort of style up to Chardonnay. And there's everything in between. Chenin for me is probably on the north end of the middle.
Yeah. So would you still put that in the aromatic section?
Well, the thing is, it is aromatic.
Yeah.
But it's not when I think of an aromatic section, I think of something that's light and aromatic. Right. So it's like and I think that's probably the thing when we're talking about. And the wine lists are doing this. I mean, God, I remember doing this 10 years, 15 years ago where we were listing not varietally. But you can have aromatic on its own is so many wines.
Yeah, right.
Light and aromatic, that makes more sense to me because that means that we're talking about the Rieslings, the Grigios, the Sems, that kind of stuff, Savies. But when we talk about something like this wine, yes, it has aroma, so it's aromatic, but it's not light. So this is almost like I'd put this in the textural category, but even though it's textural and aromatic, it's because generally when we're talking, that spectrum is more about weight than anything else,
right?
Depending on who's talking about it. But for me, when I talk about the weight, that spectrum of white wine, I'm talking about the weight, what it feels like in the mouth. And often people are like, what does that mean? Think of it like this: water is one end, milk is the other. That's what it is.
It's a great analogy.
So where does that sit in between there? Probably about here.
Yeah.
So that's an answer. But I love that, and this is wine. This is the Headcase series, which is sort of a bit of a joke for these guys, and I think they mentioned on the back label that their whole family is a Headcase in some way, shape, or form. And I know Angus, and we're all Headcases. I think that's the point. But I love where these wines are going, because there is there's a drive to them, but they're sort of those wines. What's the way I would describe this? Is it's complex, it's interesting, but it's not in that sort of cerebral wine where you got to think about it. No. Like you can neck that. Like I will probably do that as well. It's easy to drink.
Easy.
And I think that's the thing. Sometimes we get caught up with wine and we try and make it more difficult than what it actually is. We have this conversation all the time. I speak about people all the time. Do you like it or not?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Sorry about whoever that was that may have just died in the kitchen. You want to ride over there?
Range fell down.
You might need a new combi tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of those wines where it's like, we don't have to make it too complex. This is just easy, yummy wine.
And I love wines like this. If you've got a table of 6 or something, you've gone out for dinner, and in particular, my group of friends, we always find ourselves drinking the same sort of shit.
Yeah.
And to throw in a Chenin or throw in a Viognier or something, just to break it up a bit, knowing that it's not a stretch for a person who loves Chardonnay to really enjoy that.
Yep.
And that's what I like about it.
And also, you're not going to offend like a Pinot Grigio drinker or a Pinot Gris drinker with this.
Even if
it's going to be more weighty, but
even if it's not your complete style, you're still going to drink that and go,
yeah, I would
have another glass of that.
Absolutely. And I think that's an interesting point as well with like the groups or the dinner parties or that kind of stuff. It's like you got people around, you don't really want to be opening up 15 bottles for 15 different people. It's just like, this is what we're drinking.
And push the boat out a bit. The one thing I like about tables of 5 or 6 is you're getting a glass. So if you think it's shit, you haven't busted the bottle.
You can move on pretty quickly afterwards. That's the other thing. So, and I think that's the thing is we had this conversation with the team at Rickshaw's on Monday. We were tasting some wines, and my question was, would you want a second glass of that?
Yeah.
And the answer was no. So it's like, well, then why would we try and sell it to anyone?
Yeah,
so,
true.
And it's like it's that thing where one glass is like, oh, I'm interested in that wine. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before. There's an amazing quote. It's from Love on the Spectrum. That show. Yep. It's from the US version. And I can't remember the woman's name that's in it, but she's at a winery and the woman pours this wine and she starts talking about the wine and she says, she tastes it. She goes, "Wow, that's really interesting, but I'm not interested." And I just think that's so fucking cool because it's like, I reckon I've thought exactly that same thing. It's like, but I don't want to.
But it's not for me.
It's not for me.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's the kind of thing where in that situation, this isn't going to be that wine.
I'm like that with offal.
Really?
Yeah, I can eat it because it's not like it icks me out or anything.
Yeah, but I don't.
And I can appreciate it when it's good. But do I really want to eat lamb's fry and bacon with tomato sauce?
My mum loves.
Oh, same as mine.
It's a generational thing, right? Lamb's fry,
like
bacon,
a Friday thing
brains.
ever. Brains. Again, I can eat them, and if they're in front of me, I enjoy it.
What about pate?
Yeah,
I love pate.
I could eat pate for breakfast.
Same, but I still like the duck liver parfait
Yeah.
on here, which has been on since we started,
Yeah.
and it's probably stay on here forever.
Yeah.
It's delicious and I love it, but I still get this. I have this real
metallic-y?
iron,
Iron
which
taste.
I don't find unbelievably pleasant. But when I'm eating it, I'm like, fuck, that's good.
Well, it's like foie gras.
Yeah, exactly the same.
So I think, and we've talked about this before, but again, for me, I think I've reached my peak with those kind of like tartare is in that realm for me.
I've tried so hard to get.
I love tartare.
Yeah.
I've just had enough of it.
Yeah, and with foie gras for me, when it's put in front of me, I'll eat it and go, fuck, that's so good. But as a chef, I've got these fucking strong memories of picking the veins out of it, like fresh foie gras when I worked in the States. And it's so fucking gross.
Was that the imported stuff or the stuff from the US?
Fresh.
Yeah, that's
stuff. So it's like plasticine.
Yeah.
And you're literally deveining it
Yeah.
and pulling these big tubes out.
Hopefully no one's
and
listening to this as they're eating.
And then reforming it and then it's like, but again, the finished product's really yum.
That's the thing.
But if I look at it on the menu and I go, oh my God, fucking foie gras.
Yeah.
But if you put it in front of me, I go, Jesus
I don't
Christ,
want
that's
to do
yum.
it.
No, if I eat it, I'm like, yum. And I find the same with duck parfait or duck,
Yeah.
or any type of pate. I don't enjoy chicken as much as I do duck or goose.
Why that is. I think the other thing is like I'm not going to like I do like it, but I don't go and buy it. It's the kind of thing where if it's on a menu, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
If it's like on a platter of something or other, I will probably eat it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go and buy a chunk or
Every Christmas, someone puts out duck liver pate.
yeah.
And no one eats it, so I get the whole thing to myself. It is the best.
Is it your wheelhouse? You love it.
Corey,
love it so much.
the parfait seagull in the corner.
There are, we do have chips in the wine store, which are foie gras chips.
Oh, those chips are ridiculous.
Foie gras and
I
sea
haven't
salt.
tasted the foie gras ones. I tasted those other.
So,
oh my god, those chips are so good.
Matt Evans, a good friend of ours, that's his nirvana, the foie gras, and I took a photo of it, and he was like, "Hold,
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in,
Yeah.
coming in hot."
Exactly. Just fill up my car with foie gras chips, please.
There was just a random segue before we get back to the wine. Speaking of delicious things, this is not a plug, but I went to Banjo's the other day. Got a pie.
The bakery?
Yeah, got a pie. Tasmanian scallop.
Yeah.
Tasmanian curried scallop pie.
$9.
There was like 10 scallops like packed into it. It was the best thing in the world.
And I'm not going to have
questioning the Tasmanian.
Exactly where I was going to go with that. I was like, I'm not saying they're not
delicious.
Tasmanian, but they're
Thai-manian.
were they
stingrays.
Were they large or small?
They were full scallops with the roe on them.
Hmm.
It was really good.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh man.
So the scallop pie, that's a Tassie thing. That's an East Coast Tassie thing.
Man, it was good. Sorry. Anyway, back to the wine. I just wanted to put that in there.
As somebody who's made a few pies in my life, my time at Udalo General Store, they're not cheap to make a good pie.
No, not at all. And
We were selling our pies $15.
just the pie, or the
They were a big pie, if you remember correctly. But yeah,
Really? Jeez.
mate, the steak and the chicken that we're putting in there, it's
Yeah,
like the cost is the cost.
yeah,
And mind you, that they were larger than average pies. Like,
right,
They were pretty monstrous.
They were
They
big
were
pie.
really like deep dish.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I saw on
Nothing good's cheap.
last Friday night, flying out of Bangkok, which was a surprise, is a pie face in the Bangkok airport.
Oh yeah.
Yum.
As like just near the gate, we were walking down the gate, and there was what was there? There was a Dean and DeLuca,
Yeah.
the
right.
deli from the US.
Yeah.
There was a Subway. There was a Krispy Kreme, and there was a pie face. And I was like, "What is happening right now?" I was like, "Oh," because every other thing in that airport is like prestige. It's all
of course.
Prada, Chanel, everything. My God, they had an incredible collection of wine in the duty free. Sitting there, they had a bottle of DRC La Romani, $19.99, sitting there.
That's like $20,000 wine.
$60,000 wine. What? In duty free, it was anyway. So I bought. No, I didn't. But that's the thing. People are like, why is it there? I was like, because someone's going to buy it. Some
dick
clown will go in there and pay overs for it. That wine, what it's worth, who knows? It's worth whatever someone's going to pay for it, I suppose. But I think for the 60s high, definitely. I think I've been offered that wine at 40 recently in the last couple of years. So, yeah. I mean, incredible wine, great vintage.
Mate, there is people around with plenty that still got stacks of cabbage. I know that we're talking about a cost of living crisis. We got a phone call the other day from a provision store for super yachts.
Yep.
And they were like, how quickly can you get us together 50 bottles of Dom Perignon and 50 bottles of Moet Hennessy? And we're like, how quickly do you need them?
Yeah.
And they're like, in the next couple of days, we're like, we can make that happen.
It's like, I can drive to Brisbane right now. I'll have them for you this afternoon.
I'll ring every person I know.
And did you get it?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. And then they rang back and we got a second order too.
Out of here?
We dragged them from both stores. We managed to get, because we still had some floor stock left from Christmas. So. But we've just got the second order from that company because we went over and above to get what they needed.
That's the thing.
So
that's what you do.
We just need to get it to Hamilton Island now because that's where the boat is. So it's already sailed up, and now they want a top up of a few more goodies. So
I mean,
mate, the market.
I'll take some carry on if you need me to.
There is some serious dough getting kicked around.
I think that's the thing. There's still at that end. They're still fine.
And this was my point this week. I think that and I've this has been not my first week back, but it felt like all of the grown-ups went back to work this week, and I've had back-to-back meetings, and there's been a lot of talk around cost of living crisis. Obviously, we've had a rate increase with home loans and so forth. I reckon that the pointy-end market, that affluent market, is probably has never been better. The the entry level, the blue collar workers, I reckon they've got a bunch of pain heading their way because I can't see with this first home buyers grant coming out and all of the demand for housing is driving that inflation up, and there's hurt heading for those guys. But the pointy end of the game here, we're seeing people spend more money than they ever have been before. I've never in my entire life seen this. It's really confusing.
Because that's the thing, because you've got both ends.
Yeah. We got the fast casual market. We've also got the pointy end. It's like, fuck.
Where do you point the battleship towards to use
people
your
are like,
term?
oh, you're seeing this pain, and I'm like, I am.
But
also there's a guy that spent $12,000 on a bottle of wine here last week.
Because that one person is like having 60 tables in the restaurant.
Yes.
So it's like, well, how does that work? Seriously, you mentioned like the increases for home loans and everything else, talking about rates. There's two increases on the cards this week for the booze industry. So one's already gone through, which is Spirit Excise. So that was $106 a litre. It's now $108 or $100.
Where does it stop, Pete?
Well, this is the thing. So beer's coming up. They're voting on the Senate this week, I think, for the beer excise to go through. It has gone up every single year, twice a year, for 40 years.
Did you reckon there's a ceiling? It'll get to a stage where people won't drink.
There'll be a revolt, I think, at some point in time. But I mean, I use that term kind of jokingly, but it's like there will be a point where people are like, I can't drink beer anymore because I can't afford it. I'm going to flip this country on its head. I think that it's just, and the issue for our, well, not one of the issues for our industry is that we have to pass that on. And it's like, you put 1%, so that's what the rise was in spirits, was 1%. You put that on everything, that can add up. You put 1% on the cost of a car. That's an expensive exercise. 1% on $100 bottle of wine. Okay, maybe I'm not going to see it so much, but incrementally, that just will add up. Yeah. So and there's a point where, and I was reading an article this week about coffee and the fact that there is same thing. It's like there's almost a false ceiling there when there shouldn't be, because people don't want to pay more than $5, $6 maybe. Understand that completely. But then the guys that are the coffee shops are sitting there going, fuck, we can't actually do it for that anymore. We're not in the window that we need to be from a COGS perspective.
But my kids turned around and said, because when that came on the news, I spat the dummy obviously and was like, Jesus Christ, when's this going to fucking stop? And I sat my kids down and I said, just so you're aware, how many people will be impacted by this? Yeah. Perfect example, like get on a plane to fly to New Zealand. And there's some great deals to get to New Zealand on a international economy class ticket. You still get, the booze for free. The price of the ticket will just go up.
Yeah,
just a shave.
Yeah.
So, just that simple process there just goes to show you it because they were like, oh, it's only going to impact the people that drink beer. Well, I don't get on a plane and drink. I don't think I've ever drank a beer on a plane, but that will impact the price of the ticket.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'll have something else, but I won't have a beer.
Definitely had beer.
But it's like, that's it. Yeah, it's I don't know when how it's going to stop.
And I think
it's going to stop.
That's the challenge.
It's going to stop.
And I was talking to one other team yesterday about something else, and it's just like we don't know yet, so we can't really prepare for that. But we've got to make sure everything else is the ducks are in a row, so that when these things happen, we're ready.
Yeah.
So it's like prepare as much as you can, thinking that it might happen, but just be ready for it to happen because it probably will. And unfortunately, we're just going to have to keep doing that every single time. It's like, all right, we're going to put another rise on, another rise on. And it's twice a year.
Oh, no, it's
and
crazy,
the independent distillers are some of the most undervalued part of this country.
Oh, mate,
and brewers as well.
There's so many of those small guys that are hurting now.
Big time. Big time. And then, Corey, I think you mentioned earlier, off air, and I hate saying that, but what was the story from? Was it Jim Beam or Jack Daniels?
It was Jim Beam. Jim Beam have halted production for 2026
for the whole year
from their main distillery thing in Kentucky. Yeah, because of oversupply. So they're not enough drinking.
They're sitting on millions of liters of bourbon that they can't sell. It's fucking Jim Beam.
Yeah,
like. That's water in certain suburbs in this country.
Oh, mate, and over there you can buy a growler of Jim Beam.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit of a sign of the times. In the wine industry, we've got a hell of a lot of wine that's sitting in tanks as well.
Are you hearing that from our guys now, like the wine guys?
And
what's the play in in that scenario? Keep it or tip it out? Or
Great question. I think a lot of people, I think
secondary brands?
Potentially, but like where? It's still going to be sold.
It's still going to be selling.
And
they're just going to have to do their
the
arse.
cost is still the cost. So if you're going for a less expensive brand than what you're currently doing, it's like
you won't
why?
devalue your brand, but you're still going to do your ass on them.
Exactly, you're not going to make any money. So what's
exactly.
the point? But then you need a cash flow because in 3 months' time you're going to get your oak bill for the next vintage. So I've got to have X amount of thousands of dollars for that. We've obviously got. We talked about this. With the fires, that's going to have an impact. So honestly, a couple of winemakers that I've spoken to have flat set out to me said that we should just not make wine for a year. The entire country needs to just fucking stop. And then that might get us back in check. But there's no way that's going to happen. No. There's too many businesses involved that have shareholders.
Can you imagine the amount of people being unemployed?
It just won't happen. You can't do it.
Imagine the impact just on the backpackers who pick grapes. Like, they go forgotten because they just get rung in last minute, go hard for...
And a lot of those seasonal workers that actually migrate around the country doing different things. They might start doing... mangoes in Bowen, and then they come down and they do strawberries and they do apples in the granite belt and they, whatever, all of those things. It's like they've got 3 months of the year now they need to fill up.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good point. I think that will be a problem, but this supply issue is something that is concerning. I don't think, distilling, I don't think they have that problem yet. But there is a shit ton of product in barrel, in Tassie in particular, whiskey that's been sitting there because it has to be in barrel for 2 years. So, there's a lot...
shitting themselves.
There's a lot of people sitting on a lot of product.
Apparently in Kentucky, statewide, they're sitting on 16 million plus barrels.
Barrels.
Of whiskey aging in warehouses.
If you think about that, but you've got Buffalo
lot.
Trace, you've got Jim Beam, you've got Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
But is Buffalo Trace the biggest or Jack Daniels the biggest?
JD.
I reckon JD would have to be big.
Sorry, Beam.
Just Google it, Corey. See who the biggest whiskey producer is in Kentucky. In Kentucky. Because Buffalo Trace has got so many different brands.
That's the thing. It's like it's what's down from that, but it'll be Jim Beam. I think it has to be because that's Diageo. So they're huge. But that's scary. And it's interesting because
what about the trucks?
Everything.
Everything. You don't even think about that.
That's the thing. It's like, what do you mean we're not doing anything? It's like, go home.
The person scanning the pallets.
What are they doing? What are they? Are they just
Jim Beam?
Yeah.
It's Suntory owned.
Correct. Yeah. Jim Beam is Suntory.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Jack. Well, no, that's the thing. It's like, and this thing. I mean, it is funny, but because they're big companies, but the knock-on effect.
Yeah.
Somebody will lose their job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like that will affect.
Yeah. They'll survive, but there'll be people who won't
The company
eat.
will survive. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that won't. I think that's the, that personal toll that this kind of stuff can have. It's also, we've talked about the pressures in the wine industry. We've talked about the pressures in general, but that financial pressure that adds to people's mental health. Where it's like, fuck, I can't put food on the table this week.
I wonder if these pricks in government really think about that.
No, they
when
don't.
They do that. Because it's like, I get the money's got to come from somewhere, but
does it?
Mate, I get disillusioned.
I'll tell you what, there's a couple of pretty big fucking mining companies that don't pay a lot of tax in this country.
It's not even mining companies.
No,
it's not just mining companies.
But that as an example, there's plenty that don't pay a lot. And
the fucking public servants, mate, like, I think we just got to get leaner. We've got to learn how to do it better.
Did you see, I saw Mark Boris talking this week about his kind of idea of tax in this country, and it's like everyone just puts on a flat rate. Remove GST, and everyone pays 25% personal tax on everything. Like, that's it. That's just what you pay. It doesn't matter if you earn 10 grand, 100 grand, or $1 million.
And I don't want to be a defeatist, but I can't help but go, if it's a common sense approach, it'll never work. Because I think that the government needs this fucking labyrinth of bullshit to fudge their way through the next election.
Yeah.
That's the hard bit, I think. And I just look at what's going on in Queensland at the moment and I feel as though we're kind of in the right direction, but I look at all this infrastructure that's got to be built for the Olympics and Queensland's got no money. It's got to come from somewhere. It's like, what the fuck,
So who's going to pay for it?
I don't know, mate. I don't know whether they reckon that there's so much private investment in some of this stuff is going to be the key to it, but it's got to come from somewhere. I don't know, mate. I really don't.
I sort of understand the 2032 thing because everyone's like, oh, it's so good, isn't it? Like, you go to Sydney and Melbourne, people are like, oh, 2032. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, it's so far away. And we've talked about this before. It's like, those places
Have you
that
seen
you go
the
to,
law
they
of
might not
momentary
be there.
change? The amount of money that's getting thrown, fuck, and how fast that's happening.
But that's taken years to get to that point.
Yeah, it's only because the Olympics is so close now that they're like,
get it done.
well, we're talking about the potential for the American Olympic team to be stationed in the Maroochydore CBD here. Like, it's a big fucking deal. Or there's supposed to be a small Olympic village here. Like, that, the amount of money to have that is going to be injected on the Sunshine Coast to have 400 or 500 people here for potentially 18 months.
Yeah.
So it's huge money, but it has to.
Someone's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it'll be us at the end of the day. We know that. It'll be small businesses and individuals. So that's where the tax is going to come
The restaurant industry, we're heading for such major reform because what has always notoriously been a really thin bottom line is just getting thinner.
Thinner, absolutely.
And, there's some restaurants out there that have never turned over more money but never made less.
And that's the thing. The top line doesn't matter.
You try and explain that to people and they go, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
It's like franchising. A lot of franchisors only care about that top line because not much of that fucking gets spat out at the bottom.
At the bottom of it, exactly. And
it is
going to, I think we're in for an interesting couple of years. There's no doubt about that. And I think that, I think this year, I think we talked about last year that there's a lot of places that were closing. We talked about some venues that closed and bits and pieces, but I think that this year is going to be probably.
If you're not out there,
pull that mic closer, Pete. Sorry.
If you're not,
it's my first time.
If you're not actively out there looking for efficiencies right now, you are fucking dead in the water.
What do you mean when you say efficiencies? Because it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but what specifically for you, what does that look like?
Easier, cheaper, better ways of doing things, quicker. But not quicker and not better, because then it falls into the value for money category because people are so fucking about that at the moment. It's not even funny.
So it's that fast, cheap, or good pick two.
Exactly. I mean, you were talking about, what was that app you were talking about? Sorry, that platform, the Muse.
Yeah.
Like, and you noticed me spark up going, what's that for?
Yeah.
Because I'm all over it at the moment.
Yeah,
all fucking over it.
So, like, what software is going to work for you?
Can I get a new point of sale system? Can I get a new booking system? Can I get a new...
That's going to save money or
if I can save $10 and get a better product, which I'm not the messiah, so I'm out there hunting it all the time, I'm in, or I want to have a conversation.
And I think that's really important. I think that's just good business at the end of the day as well. It's like you've got to be looking for what's next and are you current? Are you up to date with the things you're doing? We've got some things going on in our business right now where it's like, is that the best thing for that? Yeah. Is that doing what we want it to do? And if it's not, get rid of it and get the right thing in.
But and you got to think outside the box, and some of the things that I'm doing will not and cannot work for smaller operators. Like we go to our pick a supplier, any supplier, but I've done this in the last 6 months, and that is one of the biggest expenses is logistics, delivering. And I remember our fruit and veggie guy said every time the truck stops to deliver fruit and veggies, it costs $40.
Yeah.
So when a truck stops, $40, and that allows the driver to get out, unpack, take it in, get a signature, get back in the truck, go, $40. So you do 10 stops, it's $400 in the day. And I was thinking, well, that's logistics. So how can I get better at that? Well, seafood and probably fruit and veg. Seafood and fruit and veg definitely we need to get them delivered every day.
Yeah.
But do I need to get our chemicals and disposables, napkins, rubber gloves, Glad wrap, all that sort of shit? Do I need to get that daily? No. So you ring the supplier up and go, if I get 2 weeks worth in one hit, what's the saving? And they're like, and you just got to crunch them a little bit, but the saving will be on their behalf. They will see that. Yeah. And they're like, well, we're going to save 8 trips to you. Yeah. We'll pass that on. All they're doing is moving boxes.
I was going to say, yeah.
So if you've got the storage, if you've got the means, you're going to have the cash flow because you'll just get one big invoice rather than 10 small ones. Yeah. You could find yourself $100 better off.
And that's economies of scale.
Yeah.
That's exactly the example of what that does.
But if I had a small cafe, right, and I get coffee once a week, why can't I speak to my supplier and go, can I get it once a month?
Because the thing is as well, if you buy, and again, it's this idea of buy at the start of the month. So you've got generally that month and then your 14 days or 30 days or 60, whatever you've got with your accounts. So if you do that, you're actually not paying, you don't have to pay anything until then.
Yeah.
So you can manage your cash flow better.
Correct.
That's basic. That's 101 stuff. Like I
Yeah.
remember being taught that when I was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
It's like always order big at the start of the month. Give us enough time to make the money to then pay the bill when it comes in.
And if you don't have, if you can't get good trading terms, have a look at, and I say this, proceed with absolute caution here. But what I've done in the past is I've got a credit card, and we use an Amex because we collect points. But a Platinum Amex will give you 90 days. A charge card will give you 90 days. Granted, if you don't pay it after that 90 days, you'll get smashed.
Yeah.
So unless you're really comfortable in the fact that you will be able to sweep that card, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it. But if you can, go to your supplier, fruit and veg guy. Imagine being a fruit and veg guy here, and we probably use, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000 worth of fruit and veg every single week.
Yeah.
We go to them. We got 30-day trading terms, so 30 days from end of month.
Yeah.
I go back to them and go, why don't you charge this card every night when we place the order? You soak up the Amex fee, and
you're paid instantly.
give me a discount.
Yeah.
And they're like, their cash flow is like unbelievably better off.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure we're religious in sweeping that account.
Yeah, paying it off.
We've got 90 days, but a golden rule of thumb for us is we sweep the card every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about when did we charge, when we just sweep
yeah.
the card every 2 weeks. And it's worked out really, really well for us.
Yeah.
And our suppliers have got better cash flow. We've got some savings, so it works well. But little wins.
Yeah.
But if you can get 5 little wins, makes up for one big win.
Absolutely. And it's those little things. And that's what the reason I asked about efficiencies is that often people are thinking about they're going to find this silver bullet.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. It's 100 little silver bullets. It's not one.
Well, you're a Costco shopper, right?
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same process, right? You can go and buy toilet paper at Coles and it'll cost you $10 for how many rolls?
Yeah.
Go to Costco, it'll cost you $20, but you'll get 3 times the amount.
Exactly.
But you've got to have the $20 rather than the 10. So if you've got the ability to eat a little bit of that cash flow, you might get some savings. But one of the things I will say, do the maths on what it looks like at the end of the month, because I know I'm not flippantly saying it's easy to manage cash flow, because it's not. It's fucking not. I get it. But even if you can do it with one supplier and then use those savings to roll it into 2 suppliers, before you know it, if you can get some savings with 3 suppliers, you'll make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And look at the things that aren't massively lumpy, like straws and napkins and stuff like that, or even linen.
Yeah.
You know, if you can.
Yeah. And I think the thing is as well, is like you mentioned before, like if you've got the storage as well, and a lot of little places just don't.
But if I owned a cafe, I'd fucking take it home.
Yeah.
If I didn't.
Yeah.
So 2 boxes of coffee at home.
Well, it's like Restaurant 2 Days. We used to go and buy beer from Dan Murphy's every week because it was cheaper.
Same.
You know, it's just like sometimes you've got to do those things. And, you know, I had a conversation with one of the teams today about Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Hello,
Harry, mate. We used to buy all of our soft drink from and
Coles
paper towel. No, we'd go to Costco.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
The savings were ridiculous.
And that's the thing, is because we're currently buying through a wholesaler, and there's just, anyway.
We buy all of our soft drink through Coles.
Through Coles, yeah. And
Coles will always collect the points.
Yeah.
And we look who's on special.
Yeah, and that's where it comes from. They deliver it.
Now there's a business thing for Coles. It never used to be.
Is there?
Yeah.
With terms or?
Oh, no. I think it opens up. You can buy like a group of 5 delivery charges or something like that, you know. So,
okay,
there's
so
a
you can
business,
save something there. Yeah, right.
But we and then Coca-Cola comes in and says, do you want to use us?
No.
We're $1 a can. It's like I'm paying 30 cents for Coles.
Why would I?
And I could probably pay 15 cents at Costco.
Yeah.
But so all of our restaurants go through, and then we use the points that we collect through Flybuys.
Yeah.
I think it's Flybuys. Is it Flybuys?
Yeah.
Or whatever the rewards thing is for that. And then we just use that for credit. So and we
it just comes off, exactly. Do you want to use the $20? Yep. Absolutely.
Well, you know, it works really fucking well.
That's the thing. That stuff adds up. And that's what I was saying, is that those little things, like you said, can add up to a big number.
Yep.
But you've got to have I suppose, almost the self-control.
Yep.
Particularly for small operators, because it can get exciting.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've got all this credit. It's like, no, you don't.
Okay.
No, you absolutely do
The
not.
only thing that will send you broke is debt.
Yeah.
Whether it be credit card debt, creditor debt, but restaurants notoriously run in credit, obviously.
Yeah.
But keep a close eye on it.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to say that credit card thing, just proceed with caution. But if you're religious with it and you've got decent cash flow, have a good look at it. Speak to your accountant.
Start it with a small limit.
Yeah.
Just do
$500.
$500 or $1,000 or something like that, so it's something you can manage.
Or sweep it after a week.
Yeah.
So then you know.
And then you
every Sunday night or every Monday morning, you just go bang, sweep the car.
Yeah, exactly. Monday, the takings are in
And
for
then-
the weekend.
And when you feel confident enough with it, then pin your ears back.
Yeah.
But have a crack at it. Any sort of savings is going to help you.
There we go. From little things, big things grow.
Good saying, Pete.
All right, short and sharp.
Well
Thanks
done.
to Market Wine Store. Jesus, you'd think I'd work that out.
Yeah, and use the code BEHIND15
Behind
for
15.
it's a good
15%
discount,
off your first order.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you, Damo, and the Market Wine Store team. And cheers to Angus Vinden and a little bit of Chenin.